my son.
I'm sorry, you've mistaken me for someone else,
Are you sure?
who had given.
Elegantly dressed in a cream-colored suit, reporters and business associates smiled as cameras flashed outside the grand entrance of a luxury hotel in Chicago, Illinois. The old man smiled through tears. "I've waited so many years for this day." Daniel looked around nervously. People were beginning to stare.
mistaken me for
His
someone
expensive smile
Daniel,
disappeared. "I'm
me.
sorry,"
I'm
he
your
said
father."
coldly. "You have the wrong person." The old man's smile froze. His hand slowly dropped to his side. The crowd continued walking as if nothing had happened, but the foreign woman standing beside Daniel couldn't stop looking at the tears rolling down the old man's wrinkled face. She quietly
Are
whispered,
you sure?
"Daniel,
Who had given him
are you
everything.
sure?" Without answering, Daniel grabbed her hand and hurried inside the hotel. The old man remained standing on the sidewalk, clutching the torn jacket hanging over his thin shoulders. His lips trembled. "My son, little did anyone know. That old man had once owned everything Daniel now proudly called his success."
30 years earlier, Samuel Brooks wasn't rich, but he possessed something far more valuable: a father's heart.
Far from it. He owned a modest farmhouse, a few acres of fertile land, and 2 aging tractors that broke down almost every planting season. After his wife Grace died from cancer, Samuel became both father and mother to his only child, Daniel. Every morning before sunrise, he prepared breakfast. Every evening after hours in the fields, he helped Daniel with homework by the light of a kerosene lamp whenever storms knocked out the electricity. Samuel had only one dream: my son will never struggle the way I have. Daniel was brilliant. His teachers often said, "He's one of the brightest students we've ever taught."
Dad! I got in! I've been accepted! I knew you could do it. I always knew.
"I've been accepted into one of the best universities in England." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Samuel wrapped his son in a tight embrace. "We did it," he whispered, tears filling his eyes. "We finally did it." But joy quickly gave way to silence. The tuition, travel expenses, living costs. The amount was far beyond anything Samuel had ever earned. That night, Daniel sat outside the porch. "Dad, maybe I should forget about it."
The tuition is impossible. We can't afford this. If God opened this door, I'll find the key.
Dreams like yours don't come twice. If God has opened this door, I'll find a way. The next morning, Samuel walked into the local bank. Within
He sold
weeks,
the land his father left him. He sold the machines that fed them. One signature erased a lifetime of memories.
finally he removed Grace's wedding ring from the small wooden box where he had kept it for years. He kissed it gently.
Grace, forgive me. I know you would have wanted this.
Outside, neighbors stopped him. "Samuel, don't do this. If you sell everything, where will you live?"
Samuel, don't sell everything. What will become of you?
A father can sleep anywhere, can go hungry, but a child's future must never go hungry.
Weeks later, at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, Samuel hugged Daniel one last time before
This
boarding.
Bible belonged to your mother. When life becomes difficult, never be ashamed of where you came from. I'll make you proud, I promise. Samuel stood there, long after everyone else had gone home. He believed this goodbye would lead to a better tomorrow.
But neither father nor son knew that the road they had chosen would one day lead to a reunion that would break both their hearts.
For the first few months after Daniel arrived in England, Samuel's little phone never stopped
Dad,
ringing.
I passed my exams. I got straight A's.
I knew you could do it, son. I always believed in you.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Every call healed every sacrifice Samuel had made.
Every Sunday evening, no matter how tired he was from working odd jobs, Samuel sat outside the small room he rented behind an old mechanic's shop.
It's almost 7. He always calls on Sundays. I'm sure he's just finishing work.
Samuel listened with pride. Even though he had never left Illinois, he could picture every place his son described. Whenever the call ended, he looked up at the stars and whispered, "Thank you, Lord. Every sacrifice was worth it." But as the years passed, the calls became shorter. "I'm busy, Dad. I'll call you later. I'm in a meeting. I have assignments." Samuel understood.
Hello, Daniel?
Hi, Dad. I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later.
He's working hard.
Days became weeks. Weeks became months. The phone that once brought laughter now brought only silence. "I know you'll call."
He told everyone, "My son is working hard. He's building a future. He'll come home when the time is right." Life, however, had become cruel. Without his land, without his home, Samuel worked wherever
He sold his
anyone would
farm.
hire him.
He sold his home. He even sold his wife's wedding ring. There were nights he went to bed hungry, so his son could keep dreaming.
Mr. Brooks, you should be resting.
If I rest, who will pay tomorrow's bills? Don't worry, I'm fine.
Mr. Brooks, your heart has become very weak. No more heavy lifting. If you continue, it could cost your life.
If I stop working, I stop eating.
He had lost his house.
That little of the original fabric remained. Some nights, he skipped dinner so he could save enough money to keep his old phone connected.
I can skip one meal, but if Daniel calls, I must answer.
One morning, Samuel sat outside a small diner, warming his hands around a cup of free coffee. The waitress smiled kindly. "You always look down the road. Are you waiting for someone?" Samuel's tired face brightened.
Who are you waiting for every morning?
My son, he's coming home.
I know he is.
I hope you're right.
Then, one bright summer afternoon, the entire town came alive. Luxury SUVs rolled through the streets. People gathered along the sidewalks. Children pointed excitedly. "Someone important is here. It's Daniel Brooks, the boy who went overseas. He became a successful international businessman." Samuel's heart almost stopped. His hands trembled so badly
son.
that he dropped the paper bag carrying the bread he had just bought. "My son, my Daniel is home." He hurried toward the crowd, barely noticing the holes in his shoes. His breathing grew heavier with every step. As he reached the town square, he saw him. Daniel stepped out of a
Please,
sleek black SUV,
let me see him.
wearing a tailored designer suit,
Just one
polished
hug.
shoes gleaming in the afternoon sun. Standing beside him was a stunning blonde woman with kind blue eyes, smiling warmly at everyone. Cameras flashed. Local officials rushed forward to welcome the town's success story. Samuel couldn't hold back his tears. Ignoring the crowd, he pushed forward with a joyful cry. "Daniel! My son!"
My son.
The old man stretched out his arms, ready to embrace the child he had
You've mistaken me
sacrificed
for someone
everything
else.
for.
Daniel.
Daniel slowly turned.
It's me.
Their eyes
I'm your
met.
father.
For one brief second, the world stood still. Daniel stared into the old man's eyes. For just a heartbeat, he wasn't a wealthy international businessman. He was a little boy again. He saw his father carrying him on tired shoulders through muddy fields. He remembered the lunches his father skipped so he could eat. He remembered the old leather Bible his father had placed in his hands at the airport. Then, he noticed the cameras, the town officials, his business partners, and beside him stood his fiancée, Emily Carter, whose wealthy family had welcomed him into their lives. Pride spoke louder than love. Samuel smiled through tears.
You've mistaken me for someone else. Daniel, it's me. I'm your father.
The words struck Samuel like a knife. The smile disappeared from his face. His trembling hands slowly fell to his sides. "No," he whispered. "Daniel, it's me. I'm your father." The crowd fell silent. Some exchanged confused glances. Others looked away, unable to watch. Samuel reached into the pocket of his worn-out coat and carefully pulled out an old photograph. It showed a young Samuel holding a smiling little boy on his shoulders beside their farmhouse. His hands shook as he offered it to Daniel. "You remember this day? You cried because your fishing line got tangled. I carried you all the way home." Daniel didn't even look at the photograph. Security guards stepped forward. "Sir," one of them said, "you need to step back." Samuel looked at his son, with tears streaming down his weathered face.
He sold his farm. He sold his home. He even sold his wife's wedding ring. There were nights he went to bed hungry, so his son could keep dreaming.
Daniel clenched his jaw. "I don't know this man. Please remove him." Those 6 words crushed every heart in the crowd. The security guards gently pulled Samuel away. He didn't struggle. He simply looked back one last time.
I prayed every day that God would protect you. I'm glad he did.
His shoulders bent, not by age alone, but by a broken heart. No one noticed that the old leather Bible Daniel had carried for years slipped from his briefcase onto the pavement. Emily did. She picked it up. Inside the front cover, written in faded blue ink, were the words, "To my beloved son, Daniel. Never be ashamed of where you came from. Love, Dad." Emily frowned. She looked toward the old man disappearing down the street, then back at Daniel. "Daniel," she asked quietly, "why does this Bible have your name? And why did that man call himself your father?" Daniel forced a nervous laugh. "Oh, he's just a homeless man. He bothers successful people around here." Emily didn't answer. Something in her heart told her he was lying. As the welcome ceremony continued, she quietly slipped away from the crowd. Across the street, she approached an elderly woman who had witnessed everything. "Excuse me," Emily asked gently. "Could you please tell me who that old man really is?" The elderly woman's eyes filled with tears. She looked at Emily, then toward Samuel's lonely figure disappearing into the distance. "You deserve to know the truth," she said softly. "And once you hear it, you'll never look at Daniel the same way again." The elderly woman took a deep breath. "That wasn't a homeless man," she said.
That wasn't a homeless man. That was Samuel Brooks.
Daniel's father.
When Daniel received a
father?
scholarship to study in England, it covered only part of the cost. Samuel sold his farm. He sold his house.
He sold his farm. He sold his home. He even sold his wife's wedding ring. There were nights he went to bed hungry, so his son could keep dreaming.
Worked until his body gave out, and often went to bed hungry. But if anyone asked him how he was doing, he always smiled and said, "My son will come back one day. Every sacrifice will be worth it." Tears filled Emily's eyes. She looked down at the worn leather Bible still clutched in her hands. Then she looked at Daniel, laughing with guests inside the reception hall. For the first time, she didn't recognize the man she had promised to marry. That evening, Emily walked into Daniel's hotel suite. She quietly placed the Bible on the table. "I met your father." Daniel's smile disappeared. He tried to explain. "You don't understand. I've worked too hard to build this life. I couldn't let people think." Emily interrupted him. "You couldn't let people know the truth."
Emily, please let me explain.
What explanation could justify denying the man who gave you everything? I can't marry a man who's ashamed of his own father.
"The man I met today was ashamed of the very person who gave him everything. I can't marry someone who abandons the hands that lifted him." She laid the ring beside the Bible and walked away. Days later, Daniel's employer learned about the public incident and began reviewing other concerns about his conduct and the honesty of representations he had made during his career. The investigation damaged his professional reputation. He lost his position. Without his job, he could no longer remain overseas under his employment authorization. Within months, the life he had built through pride collapsed. He boarded another plane. But this time, there were no reporters. No applause, no fiancée, no dreams, only regret.
Dad, I hope I'm not too late. Dad, I'm sorry. I was ashamed of your poverty, but now I'm ashamed of myself. Please forgive me.
I'm sorry. I was so afraid people would judge me because you were poor. I forgot that everything I became began with you. I traded your love for my pride. I don't deserve your forgiveness. Samuel's own tears began to fall. With trembling hands, he stepped forward and gently lifted his son to his feet. My son, when you were born, I asked God for only one thing, that he would let me live long enough to see you become a good man. He placed a weathered hand on Daniel's cheek. You lost your way, but you found the road home.
My son, a father's heart never stops loving. I forgave you long before you came home.
You don't have to repay
Little by
me.
little, he
I'm
rebuilt
just
his
happy
father's
you're
life.
home.
He bought back a modest home.
I'm never leaving
He
again.
cared for Samuel through his old age. Every evening, they sat together on the front porch, talking, not about money or success, but about family, gratitude, and second chances. Daniel kept his mother's old Bible on the table between them. This time, he read it, and he lived by it. Closing words. The greatest poverty is not having empty pockets. It is having a heart too proud to honor the people who sacrificed everything for you. Success means nothing if it costs you your gratitude. Never be ashamed of the hands that fed you, prayed for you, and carried you when you could not stand. Because when the applause fades, family is the one treasure you can never afford to lose.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and put down your thoughts in the comments. From Epic Stories TV, we love you.